Hello my loves! So I actually did already record a video like this, which was 3 years living in Sweden with some facts about Sweden and some opinions and things like that, but for some reason I felt very uninspired to edit this video, so I thought, okay, well I do want to do like a 3 years in Sweden video, but how can I be more inspired by it or actually want to share it? So I thought instead I would just share some experiences in Sweden and just my honest opinion and just kind of like a recap on my 3 years in Sweden, and hopefully it will kind of give you an idea of what it's like to live here, or I don't know, hopefully it will be interesting in some way and hopefully I can share some good stories with you. So this is 3 years or 3.5 years actually right now of me living in Sweden, specifically in Stockholm. And if you are new here, then you probably don't know that I am half Swedish and half British. So my mum is Swedish, and 3.5 years ago I decided to move here solo, and I got a job as a barista while I was running my business online, and then eventually a 1.5 years later I managed to quit that job and work full-time in my company. So I have also a video all about running a company in Sweden, because right now that is what I do. So I have a marketing agency which does allow me to work remotely, and right now I am living in my summer house here in Sweden, and it's my favourite place in the entire world. So I think I can judge Stockholm, Sweden from a place of, okay, the city life versus the countryside life, because that is a life that many Swedes live. You know, you spend Monday to Friday in the city, and then most Swedish people, if you have a long weekend, if you have a break, they will go straight to the countryside, because that is the beauty of this country. The nature is insane, and you've probably seen Sweden on the map. It's a big country, there's so much nature, there's mountains, there's trees, there's lakes, there's the sea. Like, that is by far my favourite thing, and the best experience that I've had in Sweden is the nature. But I was reflecting, and I was also thinking that Sweden has given me so much, and there is no way that I am moving back to England, because not just the nature, but it's given me my best friend, it's given me the best experiences, it's given me hard experiences, it's given me a new outlook on life in terms of health. Like, Swedish people take care of their health very seriously, and you know, we have the longest winters, we have 6 months of winters, but Swedish people know how to hack it, because they sauna, they ice plunge, they still run outside in the winter on the ice. It's next level. So living here has definitely given me some kind of an outlook on life that I will always remember and always hold on to, and I know other international people who feel the same way. Sweden has its traditions, you know, midsummer, it has all these special days where you celebrate small things, and Sweden is so inclusive in just including internationals into their traditions, and that's something that I found really, really fun and really nice to be a part of. Especially midsummer, we just had midsummer here in Sweden, which is one of my favourite holidays. I think it's becoming like, it's topping off Christmas, and Christmas is like, I love Christmas, but midsummer is something else. Anyway, so my experience, I think whenever you first move to a country, you are feeling more open-minded, and you're feeling like you can be whoever you want to be because nobody knows you. It's kind of this new country feeling, but that soon wears off. In about 6 months time, you think, okay, this city is quite small, like Stockholm is quite small and people know me now. So then you start to think, okay, everyone is kind of being the same, maybe I should blend in. And 6 months in, I found that I was trying to be just like everybody else, and I was trying to become the typical Swedish person, or trying to be very nonchalant, trying to be as normal, as least weird as possible, trying to wear what everybody else is wearing. And it's so easy to do that in Sweden, because there is kind of a general look and a general, like persona that people are. So you think that if you aren't the same, then you are going to be excluded, or you're not going to fit in, or people are going to stare at you, or whatever. It's a lot of this is like kind of in the mind, but again, I don't know, I went through a time where 6 months I was thinking, who even am I? Because I feel like I'm being everybody else and I'm trying to be everyone that I see. So then I had to check in with like, wait, do I want to wear, these beige clothes? Do I want to wear this blazer? Do I want to look like this? Do I want to what do I actually, do I want to have long hair? What do I actually want to almost look like without thinking about what other people expect or what other people look like? So there was kind of a check-in that I had to do, and one of my closest friends here as well, we also talked about this, and we were like, yeah, this is so weird. I've never felt this before. I've never felt this in another country before, other than in Sweden, that kind of pressure to blend in. But then I think once you acknowledge that and once you realise, okay, I don't need to blend in to be liked, even by anyone, by Swedish people, by international people. I do not need to blend in to be liked. And that's something I learned very, very quickly, was like, well, I actually love hanging out with people who are different, people who are considered weird, or people who just have a personality. And I am that person as well, so why would I shy away from that? So that was a big lesson kind of in the beginning of moving here. And then, of course, coming from the UK, there was a big culture difference and a big culture shock in terms of how people acknowledge strangers or how polite people are. It's known that Swedish people have no manners, but it's not necessarily true. It's just a big culture difference. In the UK, we like to say thank you and say sorry for absolutely everything, to the point where it's a bit too much and it's a bit annoying probably. But in Sweden, it's not like that at all. You're not going to say bye to the bus driver. You're hardly ever going to say thank you to the car that lets you cross on a zebra crossing. Whereas in England, you would do those things. So that's a bit of a difference. And then I started to think, are Swedish people just rude? Do they just have no manners? But that's not the case at all. They're very, very kind people. It's just a different culture where you don't necessarily have to say thank you all the time. You don't necessarily have to say sorry all the time. You just go about your day and people don't get offended by that. Whereas I was like, that is so rude. How dare they? How dare they not say thank you? How dare they not say bye or whatever? But then eventually now I'm used to it. But the only thing is I try not to do that as well, because I like being polite and I like being overly polite if it just comes naturally to me. If I feel like saying sorry, if I feel like saying thank you, if I feel like saying goodbye, I will do that. And I don't want to think, oh wait, should I do that? Because they're not doing it, maybe they think I'm weird because nobody does that. No, just do it anyway. So that's something that only like 3 years later I've actually realised, that I just want to keep being my British self, being the British version of me, because I definitely have two versions. I feel like there's a British and there's a Swedish, and they're both. But yeah, so I think in a society where everything is very samey, don't lose yourself and the person that you want to be. Don't lose those mannerisms that you have or those weird traits that you do, because that's what makes you you. And yeah, I think it's wonderful when people are a bit different. I am going to talk about this topic because I think it's been a big thing for me, I guess, living in Sweden, because when I came to Sweden, I was newly single. I just broke up with my ex-boyfriend, who I had been together for 3.5 years. So I took obviously like some time off. I wasn't dating at all. But then I was dating, and for the first time, it was almost like my first experience of really dating as an adult, because I was in this relationship for, quite a long time at a young age. So my experience of dating in Sweden, it's very interesting. I have no other like country to compare it to. But it's not like it's been bad, but it's also not been the easiest. And especially looking for something, I guess, genuine, something maybe traditional, something maybe slower paced, I think it's not been easy. Sweden does have this stereotype of people sleep together really quickly and that's how they build a connection, that's how they build a relationship. I don't know, I've heard this before, maybe it's true. So I have had to check in with myself and be like, okay, but what is it that I want in a relationship, or how do I want to approach dating, and not just try to fit into the stereotype or try to fit into what other people are doing. So that has been a journey, honestly, of navigating the dating scene and navigating how dating culture is here. But I also think this is becoming a worldwide thing where people aren't necessarily approaching people in person. Maybe people want that physical connection first before they have that emotional connection. So yeah, there's definitely, it's definitely been an experience for both me and my closest friends here. There's been positive experiences, there's been bad experiences. I don't think I can blame it on an entire country, but I can say that it's not so easy, I guess. But I don't know, is there a country where dating and finding your person is easy? If there is, let me know, because I'm unaware of that. Okay, we're just about to go for a walk in the forest, so I will take you with me and show you what I'm talking about when I talk about the Swedish nature. This is what I love about Sweden. So the winter of 2023 into 2024 was so depressing that I actually went back to England. That's how depressing it got here in Sweden. Every year I go ice bathing and do the sauna with my friends here. That has been one of the best traditions actually, coming from Sweden, considering in England you would just never do such a thing, and where I lived you'd never even have access to fresh water. Like we do here. Whilst in Sweden, I actually got very strong in the gym. In the first 6 months that I was here, I gained 10 kilograms, and I couldn't ever gain weight literally until this time. This is what happened when I worked in a cafe and I was going to the gym consistently. And yeah, I just got into a really good routine. So Sweden made me strong, and it made me love feeling strong. So as you can probably tell, I love nature, I love trees, it's my favourite thing. But I've been spending the entire 3 years in the city, in Stockholm city. But the only reason why I could do that is because you get access to nature so close by. I have lived in 4 or 5 different locations, and each location has been walking distance to a lake. Not even walking distance to a gym, but walking distance to an outside lake. That is Sweden. It's built on islands. Right now, no part of me wants to be anywhere else than right here. And I don't know, I only really get this feeling so strongly when I am in Sweden, and I was reflecting on the feeling like you are home in yourself instead of in a country. But I think Sweden allows me to feel like home within myself, whereas in other countries I don't really get access to that feeling, if that makes sense. I don't know, I think it's mainly the nature and the fact that I spent a lot of my childhood in this amazing place. Okay, I can't ignore the fact that for a long time I felt very lonely living in Sweden, and I do have a fear of that feeling coming again when I'm back in the city. But after travelling to many different countries and living there, I'm starting to think that this isn't Sweden that brings this feeling, but it's actually a feeling in myself, where sometimes I can feel lonelier in the presence of other people, or like people around me, versus when I'm on my own. So is it loneliness, or is it more of a feeling of maybe I don't let myself fully be myself, whereas when I'm alone I let myself fully be myself. So that is always a feeling that I thought Sweden is lonely, But now I'm thinking, I was blaming it on a country when that wasn't necessarily fair. So, sorry Sweden. This sun, guys. Oh, this sun. Wow. So this is a magical forest that we kind of recently discovered. I mean, we called it the magical forest. And yeah, wow. I also wanted to say that one of the highlights of my time in Sweden was definitely when I was working as a barista in an amazing cafe in Stockholm that I still go to so often. I absolutely love it. But I didn't appreciate it enough because I wanted to run my own company, and the thing that I wanted to do the most was to quit this job. So I never fully appreciated the cafe that I worked in, even though I made some of my closest friends there. But that was a huge highlight of living in Stockholm.